I am not a financial advisor. These videos are all meant for educational purposes only. All Complete Trader Academy videos are my personal opinion and perspective. Trading carries a high level of risk, and all results are your own responsibility. Please always demo first. Hey everybody, welcome back to CT Review. Today is March 18, Tuesday, 2025. Hope you had a good day today. So try to make this simple and short. I know I tried to make a short video yesterday, but that didn't really happen. So apologize for the long videos, but trying to explain everything as much as I can. I'm pretty sure if it's for free, you don't care. But anyways, we were talking about this as a possibility. This was the last option yesterday, is of us not pushing up and getting into this. If it's a bearish week, then this will be more like the wick, the retrace of the week, right? Where we have the high was sitting on Monday. If we're looking at the past week, so this week, we have like this was the open here, right? And we're right here, and we're above it and below it. So we're kind of like, is this going to be like the high of the week, which was Monday? And now Tuesday, I said Tuesday might be the low of the week if it's a bullish candle. So it's not a favorable time and area in general. So especially with FOMC tomorrow. So you kind of take what you get, but you do look at, general liquidity pools and breakout areas and so on. We had that price yesterday hit that level to the tick, right? That perfect level. So because of that, I was before it was even happening, I was like, oh, it's going to sell off and come down. And sure enough, it started selling off while I was making the video. So I made this as an option. Why did I make this option? Because if we're not going to go up anymore, then it would be selling from here as the lower high. Like these are just internal lower highs, but they're not the real lower high, right? Manipulation, right? So retracement from here to here, because that low does not take out that low, right? So this is still in the range from here. So if this made a lower low, then it would have been a different conversation, right? But anyways, that would be more of a shift if it went down and then came back up. But anyways, I don't want to try to make this short, man, but there's a lot to talk about. But here, I'm talking about coming down here, obviously wiping out the yesterday's lows of Asia and then popping, so a sell, buy, sell, right, is basically what I'm saying. And sure enough, we are in that motion. We don't know if number 3 is going to pan out the way, so sell, buy, sell. We don't know if that's going to happen. What did they do? So a lot to talk about, but if we keep this simple, this is going to be on the 15 minute would be pretty easy. As you see, we X marks the spot. Watch the video. I'm not going to explain it anymore. You know what this is. I did the projection from here to here. This is that energetic candle from yesterday, which is going to be the 2 o'clock. So the 2 o'clock and the next 4 candles up. I'm measuring that because here, this is where the energetic area is, and I'm trying to gauge it. I don't want to make it too big. I can technically measure this whole thing, but I mean, that's if we're really bearish, then I'll go look at that. But for here, when I'm measuring it this way, this is kind of like me checking out like the short-term retracement. I can actually come in here and do this too, which is not something that I did, but there's a lot of ideas here, and you can see very similar to this 2 to 2.5 right here. But we also have Friday. So Friday's first gap, first imbalance right there of the session. You can see we have that plus that liquidity to the bottom of it. Remember Friday when we dipped in, we took that 930 low out, and then we just shot up. It was a pump, dump, pump, right? So in a bullish scenario, you're kind of looking for that, but I'm referencing that's what this green line is, so we know. Now 930 is here. We already got this big displacement down, right? So this big drop, it's not even structured down. It's just like a drop, right? But that's okay. We dig into it, and then we make another low. So we've got flow there. Now here, as you see, that's the daily bearish imbalance right there. From right there, see that? So there's 2 levels. Watch yesterday's video so it makes sense. We have that hourly imbalance that's still there. Look how we had the opening of the day today. You have to have these levels on your chart, man. Otherwise, this is just a waste of time. But you see, we come down to the damn near 50% of the bearish daily imbalance, plus the first imbalance of Monday, plus the opening range gap of yesterday as well. So we come and we bounce off of that perfectly, right in there. You can't miss that. Do you see that? You can see it on my chart, can't you? So we bounce up. That's a low, and it's a higher low at the moment, but it could be the suspect break. So we pop up here, as you see that, right into the daily, right into also 50%. Let me actually do this. You can see it right there. See this? So we come right into, I'm back on the 1 minute over here. You can see right into the daily gap of today, and then 50% of the hour imbalance resistance. It's holding it. So now we're coming back down. We come right back down to the daily. We pop up. We're playing around that 50%, and now we lead into today. Obviously the AM session, so it makes sense now. But just gorgeous. But the thing is that with these, again, that's why I'm drawing it this way. So in this option here, we were coming down. So it's a sell, buy, sell. Now we've accomplished the sell. We've accomplished the buy. Is the buy done and then sells, or is it bullish and it just keeps breaking up? So every option I give you, there is another option on that option. So I can't go through all of them, obviously. So, but that could be a higher low. See this sheet? We come up and we shift. It could be a higher low. We don't know, right? We just don't fucking know. But in general speaking, in a perfect world, you would see if we came this low and we're not just like keep going up, then we would come down here to make a low and then lower high and lower low, right, for sell by sell. So anyways, that's how I make videos long, dude. But the fireness, it's just fire. The shit that I don't see anybody doing it like this. But real quick, don't get lost with all this. This is just, I'm just measuring the bearish imbalance we have the 4 hour, and then we have it also on a 1 hour. I went from a 4 hour to a 1 hour. I can go back to the 4 hour because I used the 4 hour originally. So, but here the writing on the wall is where? Well, we broke through that 50% liquidity. Low breakthrough. So we're getting the order flow before 9:30 even starts. This was the gift. If 9:30 was still here and we never broke below, then it would have been an idea of the other option that on my video yesterday, you'll see that I had a retrace down and then buy back up from there, right? To get into here, right? That was one of the options. But the way this came down, and then we broke right here, super clean support, turn, resistance. Where's the break? Right in that fucking gap. Look at that bearish imbalance. Obviously, we're talking about the 855. You see that? And then I even well, this is not even necessary. It's fine. We popped in there. These two up candles were the last push up before it broke lower. And then here you can see that's holding as resistance in there. You can see that we have the 921 in bearish imbalance. You got to mark your chart, man. You don't mark your chart, you're not going to see this stuff. And it's just make it, let your life easier and mark the chart. But digging into that 930 straight down. I mean, but in general speaking, my strategy is to dump and pump. I don't give a fuck if we're bullish or bearish. So we had two reasons to come down, but we have more of an important reason to buy here. Why? Because I already got number move one down. They showed your hand by it being a dump. So generally speaking, you'll look for a pump. There will be a buy, right? In general speaking, unless it got heavy and just kept falling down. That's a different scenario. That's where it's like this shit where it just doesn't stop, right? Which for a moment it did look like that. I don't want to get sidetracked, but the point is that you see this little break right here. We have it again right there. Look at that. These lows, boom, 930 shoots down. So zoom out, make sure you see what you're doing. Then we have the opening day gap, which is that purple line in the background still, the little one. And then we pop right in. We come right to the breakout level, that level. We seal it. It's a sealed, perfectly sealed. Right? And then the 930, then we just shoot down. Now it's gone, like just gone, right? Then you come down here, you get this last push up into the wick here. Generally, I use that wick, but it should be the up candle. Depends what the price wants to do. But instead of putting it on the candle, I'm putting it on the wick just to show you this entry. We have a gap right there. Bodies are there. That's a nice entry for another leg down. It's in a rush. Where are we going down here? Obviously, we know that we had, sorry, this is sloppy on the 15-minute, but I'm trying to put everything in there. It's hard to see it, I know. But we have the AM session low of the night of yesterday, and we have the fucking those equal lows, remember? So they dangled that carrot first and they did another drive up. So man, there's so much to tell you. So drive 1, 2, 3. Yes, the 2 and 3 happens after this high, but we have perfection at a level of reversal. Making this dumb video, I wanted to sell that shit and I fucking didn't bother, but it's okay. Anyways, so with that understanding, coming here, and we have to the left of the chart, take a look. I know it's squinched up, you don't need to see it. Now you have Friday's AM session 930 low, that low that we took. We also came to sweep that plus the guy to the left. Not all the way to the bottom, which we almost did. Actually, we did. I'm sorry. Let me zoom out more. Yeah, these guys. I'm going to zoom in here so you can see it on the right side. Fuck, man. So you got this low right here. Look to the right. Oh, you can't see it. Sorry. So that low we took. Look how we swept it with that low, right? Then we popped up. All right. So this could be sell, buy, sell right there. That's also working. But this is a little shallow for me. And it's really suspect because if you were watching price, this took forever. This was a point where I almost even gave up on the damn day. I was just like done, right? But look to the left here because we took out that low, which was to me their main objective. But they decided to be sleek and be one more time down to come down and raid, and then it was to get this guy right there. See that guy? Look to the right. Look how we sweep it now on the 1 minute chart. But they leave that guy alone. Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, they took this guy, right, and that guy, but they left these guys alone. Okay, or whatever. This is just what it is. Now, with that understanding, let me kind of go back here. I have to say that so I can frame the rest of the conversation. 2 to 2.5 here. I understand we're kind of coming into the area. Yes, it can wick outside, but look at the bodies. Look at all the bodies right here. Look at the bodies here sitting flat. Look to the left. Look at the 2 to 2.5 from the measurement that I did with this energetic area here. Look at the 2.5 right here. Look at the bodies to the right on the 15-minute. They're fucking perfect. But see, they come out the lines, right? So you see this projection here, right? 2 to 2.5, whatever. I'm going to delete this just for now. I just don't want to get confusing. So I'm looking for the buy in this area is what I'm trying to say, right? So this can go a couple of ways. So I can go sell, buy, sell. Why do I say this is a buy? Well, because this is the leg. And we want to come up and take out some liquidity, right? Yes, this was an internal swing. But that would be too shallow for like a real number 2, like a real move, right? So the price comes all the way down. So now you got a speaker forming, right? You got the lows here. And you got the highs here, right? See that shit? So I understand that it's speakering out. It's ranging, I call it. Man, there's so much to tell you. Let me just go back to the 4-hour imbalance measurement that I had with these quad lines. So don't get confused. It's nothing crazy. I don't know why it's making it so big there. But I'm circling it with the green here. Why? Because I know that this is a breakout level and that the algorithm wants to reference this. This is like all the late traders trying to sell past where? This is where it's very key. Trying to sell past the previous day's low. Right there. See that? So the imbalance on the 15-minute, you can see it there, right? It's the same. And then when that 10-hour candle was done, you're going to want to, well, not done, but in general, you're going to want to see it pop up and take out this breakout level. Okay. So, which is generally speaking, I'm talking about the fucking, this is the breakout level lower through the previous day's low, and we're coming back up. That's a minimum target for a buy. Okay. So here it fails, comes up, it fails, right? They're speakering out right here. It's manipulation. But this low does create this high up here. So it takes out this guy right here. So it has and that's what it was looking for. When it came down, it's looking for a swing high. Where is it? Well, we have that one, and we didn't get up here. We have no candle on that one. And I measured this last down candle right here, and you push up, you see a 101.5, it stops. So that's to show you that it's probably not going to go any higher. So this failed, and they made this higher low. They're trying to, look at it, they're trying to fucking trick you, bro. You think buyers and sellers did that? It's silly, man. So anyways, this failed. Okay, fine. I even took a loss there. Why did I take the loss? Why did I take the buy here? Well, because look to your left on the 15-minute. I just took out that 930 from Friday. So for me, it's like, okay, I like it. It came back in the wick. I said, okay, cool. This is too deep for me. This looks very suspect. Took too long. This is all time distortion here. And with that, because if I'm taking this buy, this bitch should be up here. It's not. Okay. So, okay, cool. It fails. Rushes one more time. Okay, cool. On a 5-minute, you can see the drives a lot more clear here. So let's just say that's 1, 2. All right. And then this never breaks that low. So it's still part of the same. And then 3. And then this is why I definitely take this buy. But I'm just trying to give you the logic of that. So, because it's sloppy on the 1 minute here, right? Anyways, fails. Pops up, fails. This is controlling price for short term. And then we get a leg down. See that? So when it comes down here, let me kind of fix this a little bit. Now when this comes down here, when I'm down here, 1, 2, 3. Well, if we're gonna count that, just give me a second. If we're gonna count that as 1, 2, 3, then where's 4? 4 is up here. Where does 4 go? Well, it can stop here and continue down. But that's also very shallow, and now it's London close. We have time involved. So this is not just magical shit that we're talking about here. London close here, okay? So it's a finale, and then they spend the rest of the day fucking jagging it off, coming back up. Why? Because tomorrow is FOMC. Today's not naturally a day that you really want to even play with them because of the fact that they're going to stagnant price, make it really dirty, high resistance, in and out of ranges, all of that. So that's the general speaking, right? So anyways, London close, and then now lunch, look at the reversal around lunch, boom, pops up. But what's the purpose of this buy? So if I don't look at this as 1, 2, 3 here, I'm just looking at this as 1, 2, and I want the range to be bigger, right? Because it generally is, just generally speaking, right? So, and I bank off of that. And where am I going with this buy right here? My target, in a perfect world, I'd love to come back up here. Yeah. Why? Because of that low right there from fucking Friday. Monday's AM session. The last low right there. See how we broke right through? And look at the 1 minute right here. Look at the 1 minute. We blow right through it, and we don't even give them a chance to get back out. So I'm circling it, and it's in red this time. I'm going to do it that way because this is an area of interest, but I can't expect the price to come all the way up there. But where's my minimum next level? Right there. And as you can see, we broke right through. They don't make it even. They dangle it so you don't get in, but then it's still liquidity. People are dragging their stop losses down. And when I'm taking this buy here, a minimum target would be here, but I know it's going to come up here. Let's put it like that, right? Because this swing right here, I know they're coming up for it. So if, in general speaking, because it's going to speak her out, but if this was 1, 2, 3, and then I'm buying number 4, I can get out here and not worry about that. But we know it's going to come above it, shoots above it. Now it doesn't take out that high, but look how it comes real close to it. They tricked you right here. You could take it out here. But I was confident in it popping up. Look to the left. Look to the left. Look how it's tapping it right there. See that? I can't make this up, people. See that high right there? Bam. You see that? So I know they're pulling that shit. See that? And then this becomes a control of price, which I'll show you in a second. But I also know it's ranging and speakering out. Yes, I would have loved for it to come, but yo, by here, like you got to take profit. You got to trail it and take the profit here. That's what I did. Okay. So forget the 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So I am still kind of looking at it as 1, 2, because I knew it was going to just kind of come up higher. Just a hair at the least. And sure enough, we did. Take a look. Let me bring it all in here for a second. Let me go to 2 minutes. Then you won't be able to see the fucking, it's so stupid. I put on the 2 minute, the opening range indicator doesn't work. So dumb. I even emailed them and they didn't fix it. It's like, dude, you got an indicator. What the hell's wrong with y'all? So anyways, nah, I don't have my shit on there. All right, so motherfucker, bro. You just gotta deal with it. So I'm gonna come back to the 1 minute real quick. Right here when we're down here, we pop above these candles and we come right back into that imbalance with that last down candle. See that? I got it highlighted. That's a fucking beautiful entry. But look what they do. If this is a lower low, lower high, lower low, well, just like this situation here, when we had this resistance with support and then we broke through, we had it happen up here too. Remember? Just got done explaining that. When you get down here to a range, if it's the end of a range, in general speaking, it won't fucking sell from here. It won't pop up and then roll over. It will invert. This whole idea will invert. How they do it. See that low right there? See this low right here? Look to the right. Bam. See that? See this swing low right here? So when we broke through, all right, and that's a nice entry right there. That's a buy signal, all right? Comes up, retraces back. Right here, there's an opportunity for this to be a higher low, just like the rest of the higher lows that ended up getting formed. Why? Because they are referencing back this low. Why? Because when let's just say we got up here, we should have rolled over if we were going to keep selling, right? We did not. We keep coming up. So once the price action goes above this high again, people are buying that way. This is their logic and the way they trade, and it does work. But the thing is, this is the reason why the algorithm came back right fucking here into this area and back to this breakout level here, right? So if I measured the 2 down candles, you'll see that it's gonna look at that. That's not coincidence, guys. Okay, so beautiful. So this is a pyramid. You could add to this entry here, or this could be your first entry, even, right? But this one was nice too here. But anyways, but we're also in reference with this swing low right here. Okay. All right. So it inverts, and what does it do? It's rushing, comes up, and then we tag that fucking beautiful area right there. Then look what they do. And this is the reason why we say, you don't want to trade too much of this day, if at all, is because of this type of fucking price action right here. See this? See how we down, up, down, up, down. I mean, it's like, dude, is it going to so is this going to be move 1, move 2, move 3? Is it going to sell? Is number 3 going to be like the controller price here and selling it down and we make another low? We don't know that. Today was very suspect and I wasn't fucking with these people, but that could be a number 3. Or is number 2 still retracing up slowly to come up and wipe out people to the left, up or higher? Yeah, and that's what they fucking did. All right, so I'm going to put this controller price, that candle right there. You see that? That's that last up candle. Boom. Oh yeah, that's why do I do that? That's definitely not by accident. See, so when they induce this liquidity here and their higher lows, this was super bogus. This was scamming. This was them literally scamming when they shot this wick down and took out that low. Anyways, it still held, but move 1 down, dump, move 2, pump, and look how they came up into here. Now again, this is still dangled. They didn't mess with this. Why? Well, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to control the price. So I definitely expect it to come up here into this low because that's just a breakout right through. But if it's really heavy and their agenda is to come down here, then they might not get that fucking high. This is what we deal with. But when I talk about these 1, 2, 3 options, 4 options, this is the way it flows. So I'm just trying to catch. I'm only really interested in move 1 and 2. Okay, number 3 is tricky, and you can get it, but I mean, I'm only really focused on 1 and 2. So even if that was move 1 here and buy up for 2 and be done, I mean, dude, you don't fucking need any more. So that's the way I look at the market. Anyone else can tell you whatever they want, but that's the way I look at it. But then, I measure this swing here. This is debatable here. But I could go to a 5-minute and do it, but getting into a 1 and 1.5, it's kind of like it's exhausting area here. So it's like, that's just kind of what it is. I'm gonna delete this. But so move 1, move 2. So I bought it here, right? Bought it here and got out here. Okay. Move 2. It's still pushed up, right? So this is move 2. And that's why when I made this option, that's your dump, your pump, and then does it roll over for a sell, buy, sell? All right, you understand what I'm saying. What did it do when it got here? Fucking rejected very hard. Sold off. So now I'm just going to do it very basic. I'm going to stop it right here for a second, okay? So sell, buy, sell. So 1, 2. I knew that was 2. Now 3, I got a question mark there. If I took this sell here, okay, if I took this sell, look how it rejected right back. Is number 3 here? Is this now number 3 where it starts to continue down? Because now they got this bill liquidity and they'd fucking upset everybody. And their real goal is to just get a little bit lower and wipe out these guys. Why? Because that's how the algorithm moves. But I think I forgot to mention that there is some missing price action in this gap of Friday of last week. It's very minute amount. It's this, see this little purple here? That's what's remaining. So it's just like this purple up here on the 4-hour up there on the last week's. But there's a very small amount. So now, and I kind of forgot to mention this, and that's kind of like why now we're dancing in between these two gaps. Who are they going to come for first, this or this? Now I'm starting to feel that they want to come down here one more time to then maybe go back up if we don't break those lows. If we don't break those lows. Obviously, if we do, then we come down. Then maybe we'll come up to get back up here. But just talking loosely, but you understand what I'm trying to say. If we were to roll over for a move 3 down, then we're coming for what I just talked about there, right? So, okay, all right. So now, 1, 2, and now that we've made a 2, we know this is number 2 for sure, right? Now, does it still go from here? You could still possibly keep buying up from here, but for me, I'm just gonna say this is 2, and this is 3, and then this 4 happened where we pop up and we just keep buying. Remember, this could be a higher low. We don't know. I know the options for all the options, but this is what it is. So I'm not. I'm letting the chart tell me what to do. Like instead of having my thoughts of what it looks like the day before, I'm still in the. You have to still understand order flow, and you still have to watch order flow. Like you should have no reason buying this. There's no reason to be buying this, especially with the 930 candle doing that and then stopping there. You need to be aware from here and then pushes through. You got your order flow, right? So that's how I know for me that number 1 is in the picture. But yeah, this does not look like a buy whatsoever. Just, doesn't, it doesn't. Not with this, not when it broke there and then broke there, right? No. Okay. Oh fuck, I gotta do something different, guys. I don't know. I love teaching, but it's just if I want to tell you everything, and I'm still missing so much shit. But anyways, okay. So if this is still move 2, then we won't break this. We won't break this low, and we're still gonna be going like this, right? But it doesn't really look like that's happening here. But so that's why if that's number 3, then I would expect that, right? And again, if I understand this is the flow of maybe 2 keep going, or this being 3, or even if that was 3, if you're like, well, what if that was 3? Well, guess what? If you did play it that way, did it sell down? Yeah, it fucking did. Did it take out that low? No. But did it come down and squeeze everybody here? Could you have took that profit out right there and right there and right there and right there? Yeah, you could have. That's a trade. But you know that if it's still number 2, then you should take that shit, take it out. Right? You're starting to see how the decisions get made with this kind of logic as well. All right. But again, the focus is that I am only concerned about 1 and 2. You see that? So it's like jump rope. I'm getting in, and then while I'm in, I'm jump roping. I'm in there. I'm fucking hopping, and then as soon as I jump out, I'm jumping out, and I do the same thing going back in. But and that's why I got a question mark. Is this number 3 down? I don't know. Right? We know that's number 2. So, anyways, I think I'm beating a dead horse here, but I wanted to say something else, dude. Yeah, we were up in the 2 to 2.5 from yesterday. Perfect sell, dude. Just fucking gorgeous. And then dollar real quick. And the issue with dollar, it was as it was still coming down. That's why I was still thinking that number 2 is still in the factor, and number 3 isn't going in. And we're going to just be coming a little bit deeper into the retracement of here, up in here. Like, go back to 15 minutes, more deeper in here. While dollar comes down, I'm assuming that number 2 is still pushing up, right? So I'm, you gauge that, right? Here, what's it called? Oh boy. Let's see where we begin here. So where the divergence is happening here? That took out that high, and Dow had a higher high right there. I'll count that because it's like a hair higher. So it's kind of like a sweep, and then we had lower highs here, right? And then what about here? They rated that. They did not raid that, and they did not raid that. So that was another miniature one right there. All right. All right. So then when we came down here, this was the reason why I bought right here was because we also had a divergence nicely there. So higher low with NAS, we had lower lows with S&P and Dow. That's a beautiful buy right there. Getting in here is early, but it still held, and you'd be at break even on the trade. No drawdown, but you'd hit back break even. You'd have to deal with that to come up here and then tag that shit right there. See that liquidity that they built right there. So and then obviously it also makes sense that the thing is that when we had pushed up here from yesterday, and then we retraced back, it makes sense for a retrace, bullish or bearish. It makes sense for a push back. Why? Because we have breakout traders and buyers all right there. See that? So we're coming down again. Now we're kind of like back at equilibrium again. Do they want to keep coming a little bit lower? That's why I also still feel that we would come a little lower still, because of the fact that even if we're bullish or bearish, they want to come get this breakout level. So all the majors are coming down. Major stocks are coming down just to get into, like, for example, here, the breakout level with the buyers. And that would make me think that we are in a situation like where we, number 3 is going to push down, right? Hopefully this all makes sense for you, right? So that was that. And what was I going to say here? So again, I'm saying all that to say this. That's why you see Dow with the retracement back. For me, I want to see it buy. I want to start to see that, right? Like it should, but it's not being easy. But it still has that flow. And, I'm not going to say that we're selling down to take out the lows. And I'm not saying we're going to come up to take out the highs. We're dead fucking center of both. So, in my case, again, when we have FOMC tomorrow,
I would like to see them push that shit up with FOMC rates. Whatever the rates is, I want to see that push up. So was this a good place to take a higher low for a buy? Possibly. Would I want to be in the market now? No. So there's that. I mean, look at that shit. Look how fucking dirty that is, bro. Oh, and I forgot to tell you guys, we need to switch to the next contract. I forgot to mention this shit yesterday, and I didn't do it today because I had everything set and I still had all my levels on with gaps and stuff. So I'm gonna change that today, after today. But you want to change your chart to ESM as in Mary, or YMM, or NQM as in Mary, right? To the next contract, right? And also another thing is I should have remembered too is that, well, the contract ends on Friday, which is the 21st, but it on the same week when we get to around the 18th, 19th, you want to kind of change it. Sometimes it's generally around the 19th, but it's 21st. And they like to sell off before when the contract is switching over. They love to sell off. Like, go back test that. But they do love to sell off. I'm familiar with that. But and as you see, look at the why we might be coming for the lows again is because of that. That if this is another bearish week, then we have already pushed up for the wick of the week in the bearish scenario, right? So the high of the week was for ES was obviously Monday. Well, so was Nas, and then so was obviously fucking Dow. So that's what we're looking at, was at the high of the week, and that's why I was saying yesterday, if you're listening very carefully in the video, I was saying, do they, if we were going to be a buyer, I'm not buying this and holding this. This is why I said about, I even bought this too, but what was I going to say? I didn't trust the buy for holding because of these equal lows. And that being Monday, I would rather see Tuesday be the low of the week if we're buying. All right. But it doesn't, this looks kind of heavy. It doesn't look like it's going to shoot up, but it freaking could though, man. Cause that could be a higher low, man. And maybe even raid one more time just to get into that remaining gap there and then pop up. But once you're coming this low again, and again, they made it very difficult for you to be in that trade for the buy here. See that? So again, we don't need it, but I'm talking about swing traders, right? But and maybe they're doing this because maybe they need to have it buy here because of everybody and their mom and their broker is telling them you need to buy here. This is a good place to buy, and make it look like it's not a scam. So, but then roll over one more time if they do. So I'm just talking here, but I'm missing something. I know it. So we came back to this bearish, to this first imbalance in green, and we're dancing around it. We're fucking dancing around it right now. So, do we want to come back up into today's first imbalance, which is right there? Do they want to shoot it up and then come down if we're bearish? So now I got to go through the options. Now the whole set of options comes again because we don't know what we're gonna do, and we also have that first imbalance for March. I can't keep talking, dude. It's 38 fucking minutes. I don't know how to make it short if I'm gonna keep talking. So you're just gonna have to deal with it, I guess, bro. But I'm exhausted mentally from doing video, like talking. Like I gotta figure something out, man. I don't fucking know. I see why people charge Discords. And they don't even do this. This is I'm doing way too much. But anyway, I would like to come to that low. It doesn't look like it's happening. And if you see me quadding the 4-hour imbalance here, you can see that we came to under the first 25, the bottom 25%. If you go to a 1 hour here, you'll see that we did reach a 25% better. See that? See how we popped up into the 25% right there? See that? That's what it looks like on that time frame. And you see that little imbalance right in between that drop of that candle, and you see we tag right into that. See how we tag right into that? Bro, you can't make that up. See that? And that's 25% right there with the fib. See that? It's right there, right in that little sweet spot. So if I move this here, that's why this was a minimum for me here, and I'm circling it. Then when you move it up, you have that area right there. You see that? All right, I think I've said a lot. And look at the rejection here, right from the present week gap in that purple line right there. See that? Look at the body. It's just opening and selling from it. Beautiful shit. Super sideways again, very ugly. Hope you didn't hurt yourself today. But this is the flow. Are there moves every day? Yes. Even if it's a shitty market, yes, there is. How do you play it? If it's a shitty market and you're still going to trade it, which you shouldn't, but if you did, I mean, you know, high resistance. You're taking out liquidity here. You sell it down. You don't have to take out liquidity. You can. It comes and squeezes people in a breakout area here that's still in the range. Comes back up, comes back down, comes back up, comes back down. When it gets into this fucking area here of a zone type of thing, look how it keeps buying from that area. Even though it's not pretty, they shaking out this low, but don't take it out. They over here, they came so low and they didn't take out that low. But still, you would trade it like a range. Even if this was a speaker, which it is, but if it was to be done like this, just for example here. All right, I'm just going to do this for a second here. Very like basic shit. Like if I measure this, if that's the speaker and that's the high, and this is going to come back in where 50% from here to here, where's 50%? If I did a fib from here, now you can see what I'm doing, right? You can see where 50% is, right? So this is just it's ranging. It's going back to equilibrium, and sure enough, these can be also targets as well. I think I've done overkill, man. Don't need to make any more videos, man. I really fucking don't. I mean, I'm explaining everything all the time. So I'll give this last piece. Wow, 41 fucking minutes, bro. All right, so I'm only looking at this here, right? So either for bearish, we're really just, you know, we're coming down, right? We're coming down and we're getting into that over here. From the week, I'm over here to the far left, top left. See that? The week, we're gonna try to snatch that, or the lows of the previous week, or these lows here. Get into the gap, and then we'll talk about it then. I'm assuming it's gonna pop back up once it reaches that low and breaks, and that'll be that option of being bearish. If it decides to come up first, then I can see it doing this. All right, I can see it coming back up here, and then fucking falling down. This is bearish. If we're bullish, I would not like to see it come below this low, and I would like to see. So I just gave you the bullish example. Then I want to see, you know, some shit like this. All right, I want to see it pop up, get into here. That's option one for being bullish. Option two, we come into here or some shit. Right? And then fucking take off, right? And that's bullish. So I give you two options for bearish, two options for bullish, and each option has an option. And you go do that on your own. But and you might think this is kind of confusing. Where I don't want to be a trader and have too many options. Well, listen. The best advice for you on that scenario is have your two options in the day before the market opens. But then really go to order flow. Just really look at the order flow, and then this is the way I trade. So when I use these numbers, again, I'm only interested in 1 and 2. So if I have the order flow first, that means it's showing me what move number 1 is. Now, once I can have patience and see maybe this not pan out in a raid and then the built liquidity, now I can maybe understand what move number 2 is going to be, right? And that's the best. It's the only advice I can give you, man. You know, but I'm pretty sure that made sense. So yeah, it looks like this number. I don't know. We'll see if this breaks this low. But that's why when I made this understanding here that it's all ready to sell from here, because I already know this is a perfect level that it hit, and then we have that liquidity. So to upset people, push down, sell, buy, sell, right? So, I know I'm missing something, but at the same time, you know, do we shift above that swing high, and then this closes, and we just shoot the hell up from here? That's what I was talking about on the bullish side, because we did break above that swing, but I don't know, man. I don't know. It's really anybody's ball game still. So, don't fucking trade it. You don't need to be involved in FOMC. Let it play. Just let the order flow play on its own. It's gonna show itself, dude. You know, it's the same shit every day, bro. That's why I'm always talking about a dump and a pump, man. You know what I mean? Like a sell off, and then you got two reasons to buy from here to push back up. You had damn near two reasons to sell from here. So the flow, it wasn't that hard to read. It was just being involved is another story, and they're getting really wiki. So that's, look at that shit. This is super scamming right here, just so you know. That's super scamming. It's like literally scamming. It's crazy. But yes, change your charts to M as in Mary, and I'll be going forward with that and closing these charts out here. And I feel like I'm missing something. Hopefully this is helpful. I know these videos are long, but look at that. That's fucking. So when the worst comes to worst and all fails and the market is shitty for the rest of our life, you know how to trade this. You just buy in these low areas and you sell in these areas. They don't have to take the high out. They can even sell from underneath. And that's just, for me, that's just consolidation trading. It's not hard. It's just, you just got to be able to make sure you take profit and you're not greedy, and you know what I'm saying? Like every time it turns, right? Like, so, looking really heavy, buddy. looking really heavy. I don't know. This shit here. Look at the S&P. Again, they're going to have liquidity on both sides. So what did they do? The bottom side here for the buyers, the sellers here. FOMC has the choice of taking one side or both, with a slam down and push up or a slam up and push down. Is generally the speaking. I would like, in a perfect world, just come down one more time a little bit and then fly up. That's it. Nothing else I could say. So am I missing something? Look at that, dude. Look at that. Look at the way it bounced from here. It bounced right there. It fucking sold off as resistance. Oh my god. Bruh. Like, that's fire. Like, you gotta know that's fire. So oversold here on the 1 hour. Do they want to bump it again? 4 hours kind of getting weak again. Do they want to shoot up for it to be on an overbought? Or is this just so weak that we're just going to sell from there? It's too much uncertainty. As dollar, daily, did I say dollar? I meant daily. Can get a divergence coming down. We're on a bottom, sort of speak. That's why, I understand we're trying to look for the buys for a short term. We're not trying to hit home runs, but popping up back into here obviously makes really sense. But look at the weekly here. Looks like they want to reach that oversold too. That's why I would, again, just like, just fucking come down already, and then we could pop back up. So you guys take care. God bless.